Internet that's everything you imagine, and then some. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Sign up today and get internet with a price for life. Keep your internet service monthly rate for as long as you keep your plan. Internet service monthly rate subject to continued plan availability.
Saucy, get in the chair.
Hang on.
It's a free agent frenzy. Come on.
Yes, it is. It's the best time of year. Hang on. I got to plug the headphones back in. Hang on. Well, Nordo, about a month and a half ago, I went to Abbott and I said, listen, Abbott.
No, hang on a second.
Go ahead.
You got to say it.
It's a free agent frenzy.
What's happening?
What's happening, sports fans?
Okay,
it's Nordo and I. It's
start.
the free agent frenzy. We are here until 8 o'clock. We will give you all of the latest news around the league, but we will give you all the latest news on what our Minnesota Vikings have done. And if you're just getting in your car, sorry that I'm out of breath. I'm just fat at this point. I had too many waffle fries at home.
You look terrific.
Not really. The Minnesota Vikings signed center Ryan Kelly from the Colts. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He's a really, really, really good player. And the thing we've learned, Nordo, he's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He's signing a 2-year, $18 million deal. He gets $9 million guaranteed. And the thing that all the stuff that people have pointed out is he's only played center. So this means, as you said, and Bump and Guardsy talked about, this is probably bye-bye for Bradbury.
Well, yeah, I am interested in where the path forward is for Bradbury here. Now, I will say I was reading an article about 20 minutes ago during the final stages of Bumper to Bumper with Mr. Barrero. He actually was doing off-season programs at right guard a couple of years ago because he had missed games, and I can't remember the gentleman's there was somebody getting the center reps during an off-season. This is 2022, so it's 2 years ago. With that said, as in-game experience goes, he's only played center. So while we're still trying to watch, and Ryan Grigson, I believe Ryan Kelly would have been among the last class. He was the GM there, I believe, through 2016. So this would have been maybe a draft pick by Grigson. So Grigson's familiar with Ryan Kelly. Last year, the contract for Garrett Bradbury is going to get paid about $6 million or so. Garrett Bradbury has had a ton of really positive moments. He has generally looked undersized and very much overmatched against high-end interior D linemen for the duration of his career. So into free agency, to be honest, I've been really focused on the guards. I'm thinking to myself, 1 year at 6, that's a palatable number. And if they can upgrade and kind of bookend Bradbury with new, better talent, I think they'll actually ride this thing out. This kind of obviously changes that conversation a bit. He has only, to your point, again, even with the guard reps in off seasons and from a practice standpoint, he's only played center in NFL games. So somebody's got to change positions or somebody's gone.
Yeah.
And it ain't going to be Ryan Kelly because Ryan Kelly just showed up and he's a 4-time Pro Bowler at the center spot. What's next for Garrett Bradbury? It's very interesting.
Ryan Kelly has played 8 seasons. He's had 121 starts, and he's only allowed 10 quarterback hits.
Ooh, we like that.
We do like that, and I think that helps a lot when you are...
Well, it's J.J. McCarthy season. That's
right.
First thing.
Yeah, I mean, that is good. That we got an upgrade. I don't know about an upgraded quarterback because Sam Darnold won his 14 games, and I said this earlier when I was on with Tenna after you were on with Tenna, and then Guardsy joined Tenna, was that when you look around what the Minnesota Vikings have done, and of course, like I've got a really good source that said Jonathan Allen is still here. That would be a huge upgrade at defensive tackle. Huge. My Manny's sources haven't gotten back to me yet on whether he's at Manny's, maybe celebrating with the bludgeon of beef. I don't know. I'll get an update on that. But
how good would Manny's be right now?
I mean, are you kidding?
Yeah, A+.
Are you kidding?
Yes.
Yeah. Bring Uncle Jeffrey so he picks up the tab. It'd be excellent. But I think the thing is, this is going to be weird coming from me. There needs to be a tiny bit of patience with this. You know how mad we would? No, I'm just being serious.
What?
You know how mad we would have been if they'd signed Aaron Banks to the contract the Packers did?
Yeah.
He's not like the PFF Pro Football Focus on him is brutally bad. right?
Yep.
They signed a center to $18 million, $9 million guaranteed. I don't know how much the cap it'll be. It probably won't be a lot. They got a lot of money left to spend. I'm a little bummed they didn't get DJ Reed. But on a positive side, our guy Byron Murphy isn't off the market yet. He's still on the market, probably still in conversations with the Minnesota Vikings. It's Fries, right?
I go Freeze, could be Fries.
Yeah, we'll call him Will Fries because.
Would you like fries with that?
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Well, that's when our radio.
You and I have never said no to that.
When our radio careers end, we're going to have to practice saying that.
Our Saturday show should be called Would You Like Fries with that? Because we're always going to say yes.
The answer is yes.
But he is not off the market yet. So if you can come out with this bring back Byron Murphy, I think, and I have no inside source or anything, I think they might. I think if who's the big time corner from Green Bay?
Jair Alexander.
I think if because they signed, is it Nate Hobbs?
They did, yeah.
Yeah. I think if Alexander gets
it was like
cut,
4 and 48,
it's a lot
something
of money.
like that.
A lot of money, which means
kind of an unpackers-esque type of contract.
Well, that
too.
and the linebacker they signed, and I think they brought in somebody or linebacker. Sorry, corner they signed, and then
they signed Banks,
and then the guard, all that stuff. But what I'm trying to get at is like, I wanted them to come out of the gates. Now it didn't help that Twitter was down. Today started horribly. I forgot I had a tax appointment. Twitter's down. My wife's gone. It was a whole thing, right? I had to be Mr. Mom for like 10 minutes, and I did.
Hold on, you were alone with the baby.
Well, grandma was there,
but you did not have social media.
No social media to check all of the trades and transactions that were going on. It was a disaster.
Awful.
It was a disaster. But I just think that like some of these moves that we want, and I'm also on board with Guardsy and Bum said it about 20 minutes ago. Cooper Kupp is going to be a Wednesday cut from the Rams. I would be fine with that. I think he'd be excellent on this offense.
I'd take him at like a 1 year prove it or something like that.
$10, $12 million deal, whatever
His production did go through the floor on the back stretch of that season.
I think he was banged up though.
Yeah, as he has been for several years. Yeah. So if it's, I'm just saying a 1 year prove it would entice me a bit.
And then the Vikings signed a cornerback.
Isaiah Rodgers.
I've never heard of him. Now,
well, he's a Super Bowl champion.
But But a year ago, when you and I did this, I had never heard of Jonathan Grenard. And he turned out to be an absolute monster and a great human being. So there is that.
Well, the interesting thing, he went to, he was originally with the Colts, I think for 3 seasons. And then he
popped for something.
He missed all of 2023 for gambling violations. So I did not dig deep into it. Was he betting on the team's Wi-Fi, certain parlays potentially? His team's not in it, so he's betting on the NFL. I did not investigate that at a high level. Clearly, it was not ban him from the league bad since he picks up with the Eagles. I saw this, didn't know much about him, and when I was thinking about the news really with the Eagles has been dominated from a secondary standpoint. They get rid of Darius Slay, who I thought I saw something. Maybe he's with the Steelers now. So the Steelers picking up Darius Slay.
You are correct.
James Bradbury was released, and Bradbury, I think it was Giants, Carolina, maybe prior to that, but he got paid a bunch. He was pretty good. Had a tough moment in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago for Philly, but he was released. So those were the 2 guys I was thinking of and paying attention to with the Eagles. Wasn't thinking about Isaiah Rodgers even being on the radar. So they picked him up the 2 year, the $15 million. And reading more into him from a Pro Football Focus standpoint and ratings and such, actually one of the better man corners statistically in 2024. You'd look at him and you'd say, whoa, he's kind of undersized. He's like 5'10", $170, $175, something like that. But damn good, productive guy in 2024. So that's cool. The money's fantastic.
Yeah,
2 and 15.
2 and 15, yeah.
And here's where, getting to your patience angle, some of the deals we are seeing. See you later, JJ.
Bye.
Good night to Guardsy. Some of the contracts you're seeing are preposterous.
Yeah, preposterous.
Now, again, because the cap is clearly a myth in the NFL.
1,000%.
And I'm not here. I'm not a person who gets envious. Players make their cash. All good. But J.C. Horn, who's played in fewer than half.
I heard you say that.
No, it's honestly, it's less than half of the games that he should be able to suit up for in his NFL career. He's missed more than half of his games.
He's the highest paid corner in the league.
Highest per year average in the history of the NFL for a defensive back.
What?
25 a year for J.C. Horn. Less than half of the games in his career he's been able to put his cleats and helmet on. So when you see some of these contracts, Milton Williams, he's going to go to the Panthers, and they're going to continue this spending spree. Oh, hang on, he's going to go up to New England and get $26 million a year.
For a rotation guy.
So, and speaking of less than half, this is a guy who made the most of it, by the way. Tremendous season. Perfect time to do it in a contract year for Milton Williams. Played less than half of the snaps on defense for the Philadelphia Eagles. Got a ring for it. Made some plays in the Super Bowl. So I'm not mad that he made that money, but from a patient standpoint, let's go back to corner for a second. So Isaiah Rodgers, there was an initial, for me at least, maybe some people were immediately going, oh, fantastic deal. Love him. Got a steal. I was not. I was like, huh? And then you got to look into it a bit more. But think about it with Byron Murphy Jr., who is, like you said, still conversations going on. He's still in the mix. When you see Carlton Davis, his contract drop 3-20. You see Charvarius Ward, former Niner. He gets effectively 3-20. I think there are some checkpoints along the way to get him up to 60, but effectively 3-20. But then you see DJ Reed, who a lot of people had him as the best available corner.
I thought he'd be here
in free agency potentially, and certainly wouldn't kick him out of the covenant.
No,
if they had a DJ Reed today.
No,
but he only gets 16 apiece on a 3-48 deal up in Detroit. So you start to see kind of these numbers fall. And I wonder if in some ways, as these conversations with Byron Murphy, there was an article or some reporting done. I can't remember if it was Gessling, Alec Lewis, a lot of people shooting out a lot of intel. But the idea that the Vikings had offered Byron an extension of some sort at the beginning of the year, and it was kind of stiff-armed. I'm going to, let's handle this when I'm a free agent. Goes out, has 6 or 7 interceptions this year.
Great.
Tremendous season. Best corner on the team, certainly. And then towards the end of it, we get we're going to extend the date of voiding his contract. Then we're not going to tag him. He's excited to enter the market, feels like agent speak, and he's going to get the best possible contract that he can get. And now he's still available. So I'm curious, as these other contracts have dropped, if it's hurt the Vikings or maybe if it's potentially helped the Vikings. Because you look at the money that Carlton Davis is getting, you look at the money that these other guys got. Are there other teams that are potentially are in a spot where they can outbid the Vikings at this stage for Byron Murphy's services? Maybe the Raiders. The Raiders got about $40 million. They got a lot of needs, though.
Yeah, they do.
Bad football team. A lot of holes to fill. We have a lot of free agents, too. But I'm just curious if in some ways the patience angle that you're talking about, because Byron Murphy, I want this guy back. And the way these dominoes have fallen, I want Byron Murphy on my team. Let's get this thing done. Hopefully, and hopefully today, so we can celebrate. As a matter of fact, hopefully during this show.
Correct.
If Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, it's a long shot. If he's listing right, can we get ink to pad to paper, please, during the show so we have something to talk about? You can text us. We'd love to break some news tonight during this. But I think that part of, I think that's not necessarily an awful thing from the Vikings standpoint to see some of these other guys go, and now you can really crunch in on numbers. I think there is the appeal of continuing to play for Flores. I think there's a continuing appeal to play for Kevin O'Connell. And being in a good spot here, I don't think the Vikings are averse to, a multi-year deal with some good money in his pocket. But I do think that patience is going to be required, as last year it was such a furious frenzy out of the gates, right? With Grenard and Cashman and these guys. And, it was a very exciting first day that got even weirder the next day when people were like, Sam Darnold?
Right.
What? Charch is losing his mind on some campsite in Colorado. Yeah, right. But patience now, it'll be interesting to see how the numbers come in on Byron Murphy, and I hope they come in him wearing purple and gold. But this Will Fries /Freeze cat, I need Will Freeze on this team, too.
Yeah, we do. We need.
So I kind of need two guys. I kind of need Byron Murphy.
We need three.
And I need Will Freeze. And then I need the guy that's apparently reportedly in the building right now, Jonathan Allen. If he can just stay in the building.
Don't let him leave.
Don't let him leave.
Yeah.
Let him hang out. We got the Omni next door. It's a beautiful hotel.
Yeah, wonderful spot.
Get him a suite, hook him up with some of that pizza.
Yeah.
Have you had the pizza there?
No.
It's not bad. It's actually delicious. So if that's how this thing ends up, then I think it's an absolute home run of the day. But it is, obviously it's frustrating. X is down. You had to be a devoted and completely attentive father for about 10 minutes, and you had to have been losing your mind. You didn't have X.
No.
I didn't have X. I'm trying to update my guy. You can imagine how that was going. Yeah. So
who was easier to update, Louis or PA? No, I think the other thing, Nordo, too, is you and I we filled in for Common in Tenna a year ago. And we had Alec Lewis on, and the news broke that Kirk Cousins was leaving, right?
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is basically going to be a Falcon for a calendar year. That's it, right?
Yep.
Like, maybe not. He might get cut. He might get traded. And then today, Sam Darnold, who won 14 games for your Vikings and was terrible in his 2 playoff games, signs a 3-year, $100 million deal that can be worth up to 110.5. I think I saw. He has $55 million guaranteed. He gets $37 million in the first year.
Yeah,
awesome for Sam.
Yep,
Sam's A+. I've heard nothing but great things about Sam. He resurrected his career here, another notch in KOC's belt for how good he's been at kind of bringing these guys together, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, and that is currently a terrible football team.
It is.
The offensive line is bad. You got rid of 2 wide receivers. You got rid of the best wide receiver. You cut Lockett. Jackson Smith and Jigba is great, but he was great because he got to run routes with
He had a couple
DK,
other guys with him.
And their offensive line is atrocious.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of Sam for taking the money. Our guy Dan Orlovsky was on ESPN this morning basically saying that the best spot for Darnold is to go to Pittsburgh with those wide receivers and that defense and basically a ready-made team. But I think that Pittsburgh team is now like a gun for hire. Where I'm going with this bit is Darnold leaves, right? Mullins is now in Jacksonville. So the 2 quarterbacks are the starter, J.J. McCarthy and Brett Rippon.
At the moment, yeah.
What the one thing we keep hearing is Daniel Jones has yet to come up with a plan, right? Where he's going to go.
I kept hearing Vikings and Colts.
But I want to know your thoughts on this. We talked a lot about this morning on the Power Trip is if you're Daniel Jones, we heard over the weekend from our guy Tom Pelissero that it's most likely J.J. McCarthy is going to be cleared for spring practice, okay?
Yep.
That means he's probably on track, ahead of it, all those fun things that we hear every time somebody gets hurt. Okay? If you're Daniel Jones, why would you want to come back here when you know you're probably going to be a backup again?
Right.
You go to Indianapolis where they're basically teetering.
Well, it's a true competition at the
Correct.
least.
That's the great way to put it. So my point is, your thoughts on Daniel Jones and what do we do at the backup quarterback position if he leaves?
Yeah, my thought on Daniel Jones is that I would love to have him as that secondary option. What is best for Daniel Jones would be to go to Indianapolis, where both of Anthony Richardson's seasons have been marred by injury and poor play. His route to starting, his route to whatever his career resurrection arc might look like in his head, his route's a lot quicker and makes more sense in Indianapolis than it does up here in Minneapolis. So his best spot is probably I want to be a starter again as soon as possible, is probably Indianapolis. Selfishly, and if you're the Vikings as a team, that's how you look. What's best for our football team? It would be awesome if they could find a way to compel Daniel Jones to return here and have that. I mean, and again, from an accomplishment standpoint, he's had his good moments. He's had his upside, certainly, but the mediocre play and such that kind of kicked him out of New York puts him now where he's in this seat, but he knows what he's doing. And the Vikings went out of their way to bring him, so they see something as well. I look at that as being a potential positive. So that would be, I hope he's here, but his best choice for him personally is probably to go to Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think the other thing, though, is you look around and you see all these contracts happening. The one team that has absolutely shocked me is the Bears. Like, if we were sitting here right now and we did every move the Bears did, we would be elated. They added basically 3 offensive linemen. They took the center, or added the center, Drew Dahlman from the Falcons, Tooney, the guy from the Rams. So they have their 2 guards and their centers. They added Grady Jackson, who was cut 2 hours before they re-signed him. They added a bunch more. I don't have it offhand, but they've just added and added and added so much. And that, like, I
think the Bears got Grady Jarrett today, too.
Grady Jarrett is what I meant, not Grady Jackson. But I think the thing that when we look at this is like, I think Vikings fans are, and rightfully so, at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, once Twitter got back on, was basically like, what is happening? But I think the thing is, what we have to do as Vikings fans is, I know we want this team. We've waited years and years and years, right, to get this cap space. We've waited years and years and years to find this money, get a rookie quarterback that was handpicked by KOC when he said, years ago that he was basically the quarterback killer, because all these quarterbacks they brought to him, he was like, absolutely not. I got to pick my own, and he's got his guy, right? Yeah. We want this all-star team to put around this, who will, not by year, but by playing time, will be a rookie, right? Mm-hmm. So we need some more juice, but those pieces that we want are not gone, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not sitting here going, oh, God, we're going to have to sign, 38-year-old, Calais Campbell because Allen's out the door. We're going to have to sign Brandon Sheriff, who you and I have been begging for 5 years, but that's when he was like 28. Right?
That was 5 years ago.
He's older now, but
Yeah.
Ryan Kelly is older. I think Ryan Kelly's 35, if I'm not mistaken.
31, 32, maybe?
Oh, I thought he was older than that. Doesn't matter. But like, they are, some of these guys that Ryan Kelly is a guy that they are saying, we have to protect this young quarterback. Bradbury, great dude. You're not cutting it. The Grady Jackson, or what's his, sorry, why do I keep calling him Jackson?
Grady Jarrett.
Grady Jarrett next year is going to eat you alive, right? We have to upgrade that position. So they have with Ryan Kelly, who I know you said has been practicing at guard. He plays
center.
He will play center. He is the center. I don't know if you're going to get anything more than like a 7th round pick for Bradbury, but he will save you about $3.5 million, right? So you're going to move on from that. They got to find 2 guards. We just have to find our way to 2 more guards. We can't wait until the draft. We got to have that solidified. Then we can go out and kind of hand pick whatever we want. But they need 2 more guards.
And that's, the laundry list is long, Saucy. And there's a lot. I mean, you jumped, you got in a couple of spots there. It is kind of playing the game. The Bears, and that plays into the patience end of it too, is teams like the Bears, they were aggressive in trades with Jonah Jackson and Joe Tooney. And then right out of the gates, you hear them taking Dahlman off the board, considered by most to be the top center. And then Grady Jarrett had been released by Atlanta for about 5 minutes, and suddenly he's got a 3-year deal with the Bears.
That was quick.
It was. So you want to respond in kind. I just look at it from the offensive line. I mean, I don't think breaking news here with the 55. It was 55 or 56 total sacks that Sam Darnold sustained last season. That's not going to cut it. You need to give this kid the best opportunity to succeed in the same way that Ben Johnson is giving or hoping to give Caleb Williams the best opportunity to succeed. So you need 2 guards. And you need at least one of these high flyers. And I'm still, again, Will Freeze. Get it done. Add him. And there are going to be some other names out there. The sheriff and some of these guys, these are going to be stopgaps. I still look, even though we're trying to upgrade at the spot, I think, the idea of pushing Brandell back to being in some ways what he was before he started this last season, that swing backup guard, that backup option, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at him as a backup.
No.
So we gotta get him there. So
Yeah.
we do need 2 guards. And then again, minimal draft picks, but you fawn over a couple of those guys like Booker and Zabel in the draft, and you kind of get excited about them. But anything you can take care of leading up to the draft to bolster it, it's like, okay, even if we had planned on at 24, we knew we were going to take the best defensive tackle off the board at 24. Well, why would we still not want to then go check out a Jonathan Allen?
Correct.
You mentioned a Calais Campbell.
Yeah.
Actually, I wouldn't mind if Calais Campbell was on some kind of old man, gun for hire
Just
1-year
play-
deal.
Yeah, first and second down. That's it.
Let a kid grow, right? And Patrick Jones left in free agency
Great
today.
dude.
He got 2 and 20, so maybe there's an edge rusher out there that we'll peek our heads at. So, but we do need 2 guards, and if we're gonna give Mr. McCarthy the best opportunity to succeed, the offensive line can't be what it was in 2024.
So there were a lot of deals that were around the league. We'll go over all that. A few more Vikings left, including Cam Bynum. He left. We'll tell you where he went. We'll update you on all of the things that are going around the NFL. We'll update you on all of the Viking signings. If there are any more that break between now and 8 o'clock, we will tell you. If you're just getting in your car, they signed Isaiah Rodgers, a corner, to a 2-year, $15 million deal. And then they signed center Ryan Kelly, a 4-time Pro Bowler, is now your starting center for your Minnesota Vikings.
And don't forget about Bubba Bolden, a safety. They worked him out on Friday. They signed him. Bubba Bolden is on the team. We got another hour to talk about.
Oh, boy.
$651 Carpets Plus. We bring the showroom to you. Come on in. Here's how your free in-home estimate works. We bring you all the latest and greatest styles to complement your home. We use our state-of-the-art measuring system so we can give you the best price for your project on the spot. And we have thousands of products that you could have installed the next day. Call 651 Carpets Plus for your free in-home estimate.
Internet that's everything you imagine, and then some. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Sign up today for an internet service monthly rate with peace of mind.
The NCHC Frozen Face-Off returns to XL Energy Center for one last showdown. It's the end of an era as 4 teams collide on March 21st and 22nd to crown a champion in the state of hockey. Don't miss the last call in St. Paul. Get your NCHC Frozen Face-Off tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Be there for the last call in St. Paul.
Hey, Meatsauce here for my friends at Elm Creek Brewing to tell you about Secret Sauce, the new THC pink lemonade drink. It's the absolute best. Head to the Elm Creek Brewing tap room today. Get 15% off your purchase when you mention Meatsauce. Ask for the Secret Sauce by Elm Creek Brewing today. It wails.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Oh, that's a lot of glitter paint. Let's trade.
Lives?
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
What do you dread more, tax season or a 200-yard forced carry over water? WSH knows the fear of not getting it done, missing deductions, making costly mistakes, or even triggering an audit can be as frightening as that long shot over the water. WSH specializes in getting maximum refunds while ensuring everything is filed correctly, taking the fear out of tax season. Good luck with your approach shot. Contact WSH today at wellstax.com. Offices in Edina and Bloomington. wellstax.com. Trust WSH.
The game is on the line, and I've only got a shot clock's worth of time to tell you about Subway's $6.99 footlong deal. That's right. Order now in the Subway app and get any footlong on the menu for just $6.99. Fresh sliced deli meat, fresh crispy veggies. Too much good stuff. Get it now on the Subway app. Any footlong for just $6.99. Use code 699FL now. Only here for a limited time. Redeemable at participating U.S. restaurants. Subway app. Online orders only. Add-ons, additional plus tax. Additional fees apply on delivery. Excludes footlong snacks. Limited time.
Our friends at TimberTech have a checklist at the website for those of you desiring a deck. Go to timbertech.com, get started there. And after you go through the checklist of what to do with the decking and to find a contractor and everything, get yourself some samples. You'll love them. They'll send them to you for free, timbertech.com. And finally, when you work with those contractors, you will recognize TimberTech works with only the best. So if you need a deck with deck durability, start at timbertech.com.
American Pressure, commercial-grade pressure washer since 1975. Find us at AmericanPressure.com.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings, the official partner of the NBA.
The NFL's free agent frenzy is underway. The 2-day legal tampering window opened today with some major deals in the works. Veteran cornerback Isaiah Rodgers will join the Vikings on a 2-year, $15 million contract. Rodgers helped the Eagles win the Super Bowl last season. The Timberwolves are off until Wednesday when they visit Denver. Minnesota had 8 players score in double figures in Sunday's win over San Antonio. I'm Frank Garrity.
Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
We broadcast from the 651 Carpets Plus, home of the Next Day Install Studios. FM 100.3, KFXN, Minneapolis, St. Paul. The Fan.
Welcome back, sports fans. It's free agency frenzy. We are live until 8 o'clock. You can watch us on KFAN.com.
What a frenzy it's been for Vikings fans.
Right. I just got a text from my wife that she took my son on his first walk outside today. So.
Aw. How was it?
He looked. It looks like he's having a great time.
I took baby Hannah on a walk today.
Yeah,
babies love walks.
Yeah, it's 70. It was 70 degrees today.
It's gorgeous.
The Minnesota Vikings have signed Ryan Kelly, the former center of the Colts. They signed him to a 2-year, $18 million deal. He gets $9 million guaranteed. And their first, their first signing of the day was Isaiah Rodgers, a slot corner who's played for a couple of teams. He gets a 2-year, $15 million deal. Sam Darnold gets a 3-year, $100.5 million contract, $55 million guaranteed. Another Minnesota Viking who left.
What?
Is Cam Bynum, is now a Colt. They added another corner. Was it Ward from San Francisco?
Jarvarius Ward, yeah.
Yeah, they've added 2 players to their secondary. Laramie Tunsil was traded. Nordo will get a bunch more. But, yeah, there have been a lot of moves. Justin Fields got a 2-year, $40 million contract to be the Jets quarterback at $30 million of that guaranteed, Nordo.
Well, first of all, that's kind of – I mean, how tough is it to love the Jets?
I mean, that's your plan? I was all for it. We had the same source that told us the Vikings loved him when he was in the draft.
Yeah.
And they even tried to move up to him. That video went viral about basically the Panthers laughing at us because we didn't have enough to move up. And then the Bears came 10 picks up with the Giants to snag him right in front of us. But, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of money thrown around today, man.
Well, that's the going back to the essence of patience. I mean, Aaron Banks getting 4 and 77.
From the Packers.
It's like they didn't learn from this absolute money pit at quarterback. They're going to go money pit at guard now, too. Yeah. I hope Mrs. Sauce isn't listening. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to speak ill of the nasty neighbors to the east. But, yeah, TJ Slayton, BJ Hill, they're adding defensive front on the Bengals. I mentioned Patrick Jones. DJ Wanham. The Panthers signed Wanham, I think, last year this time. On some sort of nearly $20 million.
Same thing, yeah.
And then basically they didn't learn?
Right.
I mean, Patrick Jones
is good, man, and he's a great dude.
Got out of the gates. I don't know if he was banged up or what it was, but that kind of fizzled out. But really hadn't even found a pulse until this season. Following his fourth, now he's going to be with the Carolina Panthers. Nate Hobbs, 4-48. We mentioned that. Kyrus Tonga, let's go down memory lane with the Vikings. Kyrus Tonga, interior pass rusher. He was with the Cardinals. Now he's with the Patriots on a 1-year, $2.7 million deal. They really haven't, Tony Adams. He's been tendered by the Jets. Good luck. How about the Browns, by the way? The Browns
make a quarterback trade.
But they have to continue. There's like $180 million left that they got to pay Deshaun.
That's the worst contract in sports history.
And they're out there. They got Kenny Pickett now. They might still have to go to the well.
They had the 2nd overall pick, but who knows, right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mentioned Bubba Bolden. You're underrating him, but he played.
I don't know who that is.
He played in the UFL, okay?
Yeah.
And he's been with a couple of camps, and now he's a member of the Minnesota Vikings. Former Vikings bit, Josh Dobbs.
How about that?
A 2-year deal with the New England Patriots. I think the Pats had like $120, like $120 million
they
in
got
cash.
The Milton character. They signed some offensive lineman, something Junior. I've never heard of him, to like a 4-year, $78 million deal.
He's going to be good.
I don't know who that is. I've never heard of that human.
Hey, do we want Dalvin Tomlinson back? The Browns are going to release him.
No, I think we key in now, Nordo, on Josh Allen,
Jonathan Allen.
I'm not bright.
I don't know.
I mean, Josh Allen would be great.
I think you're smart.
Jonathan Allen would be excellent. From all the things, you and I have been told, he's still in town.
He's still there.
He's
still somewhere.
Will Freeze, the guard, would play great next to his new center, who's now with the Vikings, Ryan Kelly. And they got to find their way to Byron Murphy Jr. The name that I heard when I was on with Tenna was somebody that the Vikings were circling around. I don't know if he's a free agent. I don't know if he's a trade candidate. Is former 2nd overall pick Jeff Okudah, the cornerback.
Yep.
So they've got some holes to fill.
Where was Okudah most recently?
Wasn't he with Houston?
That sounds right, yes. Because he was originally with the Lions.
He was with the Lions.
Highly drafted, maybe 3rd
start
overall.
Over. He was with the Falcons, 2nd overall. I think he was the 2nd overall pick.
3rd overall pick to the Lions, Falcons, and then, you were right the first time. It was Texans this season after the Falcons last year.
So he's been around. He didn't really, but, that's.
I remember him being super physical.
Yeah.
I also remember him getting lost.
Yeah.
But he's no longer a 3rd overall pick. Now he's just a guy.
He's just a guy, right.
And if you can get him for a couple of $1 million, come on in. Let's go. So Jeff Okudah is in the mix on the market. Let's see who else we have here. Javonte Williams, you were worried about him, former Broncos running back. He's going from Sean Payton down to Brian Schottenheimer and the Dallas Cowboys on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah.
Veteran linebacker, he's going to go to the Broncos. And Ashton Doolin, he is re-signed with the Colts on a 2-year deal. Got some crickets going on right now. A lot of from a quarterback standpoint, I'm excited for Sam Darnold. He does not have a lot of weapons.
No, he is. They got rid of all of them. But he got paid.
But that's also a team that when they're healthy, whether it's Kenneth Walker or it's Charbonnet, they're a team that wants to run the hell out of the ball. That's kind of how I look at it. With the Vikings, it's never going. I mean, this is a pass-first team, and it's a pass-first coach, and it's a scheme that wants to win with elaborate schemes featuring one of, if not the best receivers in the NFL. But one way, not just protecting J.J. McCarthy, is that a route to succeed, but being effective in the run game to a much higher degree than they've been through the first 3 years of our coach's tenure. So. And I love Aaron Jones. He made all the games, but we need a much better and explosive secondary option to take some of those reps off of him.
We do, yeah.
Because it can be misleading. Hey, he played all 17. Hey, he had like a career high in touches. Okay, well, Cam Akers was more explosive at the end of the season than Aaron Jones was.
He was, yeah.
And he was getting nicked up in games, and he maybe wasn't available in certain spots. So to get that secondary option, it's like 2-20. Not mad at it for Aaron Jones.
No, not at all.
Dig it. It's 13.5 guaranteed over 2. Cool. But I need, whether it's in the draft, and I think it's going to have to be in the draft. I don't see anything in the free agent crop that excites me, unless if you're sad about missing out on Javonte Williams. I am not.
No.
But running the ball, that's something for Sam's sake, because it is as it stands now. Noah Fant, who has never really materialized as that elite top end tight end, I think he's getting paid kind of like one though. It's like $10 or $15 million on the cap for him. But Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, that's a team that likes to run a little bit. I think that could be good for Sam. Good for him.
Yeah, I'm glad he got paid, obviously.
He gave us 14 wins.
He did, yeah.
But I'm also glad, to be honest, that he's moving on. I mean, I would not have wanted to commit even to that same amount of money.
No.
I think we offered him 1 and 25.
1 and 25 is what I heard. And I heard probably from, from the same source you have, is that that's the highest they would go, right? So
yeah,
I mean,
that's the kind of stuff that it annoys me in terms of the noise that emanates in the free agency period.
Well, it's the beauty of the NFL, though.
It was the same thing a year ago, where they just kept hanging on to the idea. Well, the Vikes are still trying to make it work for Kirk Cousins. They were never going to make it work.
No,
it was never going to happen.
No.
And in that's a different and individual case, because the Falcons just, I mean, look at the money they spent. Ridiculous. $150 billion.
And he's not going to be on the team next season.
Yeah.
They're not going to hang on to it.
It's got to be Russ Wilson version 2, right?
Yeah, I mean,
he's
it
going
has
to
to
get
be.
the league minimum.
But
Atlanta's going to pay him about 30 and have a nice day.
But
although the spots for him are kind of...
Correct. I was just going to say that. Like, if you go around the league, right? Like, you go around the league and you got...
Let's go around the league.
I mean, the Vikings, no. Seahawks, no. The Bills, absolutely not. The Dolphins just signed Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
The Patriots, no. The Jets, no. They just brought in Justin Fields. Baltimore Ravens, no. Bengals, absolutely not. Cleveland, no. I think they'll roll with Pickett and the rookie. The Steelers are a maybe because of what Rodgers might do.
Well, so the key is with Rodgers, though, Rodgers has to be on the Jets roster until Wednesday.
Yeah, I heard. Oh, yeah, you did say that. So
it's important to note that, because people are like, hey, something could pop. No, it can't.
No,
he has to be on the Jets roster. Now, with that said, that doesn't mean, of course, that as soon as that's available to be talked about, that they don't announce it, that it hasn't already, the deal hasn't already been made, but it can't, and technically until Wednesday. What if they did this, Saucy? So Justin Fields, not interested in continuing the tenure in Chicago. He goes to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And he was 4-2, right?
Something like that, yeah. But then as soon as Russell Wilson, who they went and got, paid him league minimum, Broncos paid the rest, and then he ends up taking over. What if the Jets, $30 million guaranteed or whatever it is, 2-40 to Justin Fields, what if they go and get Kirk Cousins?
Right.
And then they just said, and he has to deal with that 2 years in a row. What an L that would be for Justin Fields.
Yeah. But I think
there's not a lot of spots unless he wants to go to Cleveland.
No. I mean, Tennessee's not going to bring him in.
He could go to Cleveland.
He could go to Cleveland, but they brought it
on a
Pickett.
1 year deal.
But they got Pickett in the rookie, right?
Oh, come on.
They're going to take whoever.
They'll probably take a rookie.
I mean, the Giants are still available.
If they truly wanted to,
they're going to take a rookie. You're not going to roll with Pickett.
Well, I'm just saying they're not going to roll with Pickett. So they'll probably take a rookie in the draft. I'm just saying, for $1 million, you could bring in Kirk for one season and bridge that gap, maybe between playing Deshaun Watson a year from now.
Right.
Or do they take the rookie because they would anticipate? I mean, this is a 2 QB draft still, right? I mean, nothing is.
I mean, Jackson Dart from Ole Miss is fine, but
that feels steamy though to almost build up the aura or the profile of non-Shedeur Sanders, non-Cam Ward QBs.
You're right.
It feels like a two-horse race.
It's 100%, yes.
So if you're the Browns, do you want to roll the dice that, Carson Beck, who's going back, he's going to be at Miami? Could he potentially grow and be better and be a higher touted prospect? Do you think about it like that, where I can take Shedeur Sanders right now or Cam Ward, either one, whatever your flavor is, And you can, so I know I got that guy. Or I know I can be competitive with Kirk Cousins in 2024, draft best player, whoever that is, Abdul Carter or somebody, to better the team. They bring Myles Garrett back, so maybe it's not an Abdul Carter, but you get what I'm saying. Best player they can, or trade back and acquire picks, get the team better, because it's so cost effective. But then in that process, they're going to win more games in 2025 and potentially then push themselves out of a position where they could easily grab a QB to supplant Deshaun Watson. It's a very difficult spot. They'll probably take the rookie. I think they probably will.
Yeah,
but
100%. Yeah.
If you were looking to be competitive and, this albatross, this awful abyss of, you're just throwing tens of millions of dollars into it in the form of Deshaun Watson's contract, you bring Kirk in. Kirk could absolutely play in a Stefanski offense. We know that.
Yeah.
We saw it at a high level. So, I don't know, just throwing out bits. So the quarterback spots are shrinking quickly.
Quickly, right. Back to what you were just saying about the Kirko bit. I was trying to explain this morning, but as you know, I don't explain things well. I
think you explain things perfectly.
Thank you. Kirk and Russell Wilson would be on the same bit, right? If Kirk gets cut, he still has a bunch of guaranteed money. He can't sign like another giant contract, or can he?
Well, I think it offsets.
Okay.
I believe any new contract would be, I'm pretty sure it offsets.
Yeah.
But what I know is it would be similar to Russell Wilson, where the Broncos were paying his tab, and then he got to sign for pennies with Pittsburgh,
which I think Kirko would do.
And Kirk would be getting, it's like 27, 28. It's nearly $30 million that he would be getting from the Falcons.
Isn't he due like
and
90?
Then similarly, well, there's one more full year guaranteed this next year, plus 10 in the third. So that's somewhere in the neighborhood of another 36 to 40-some million dollars that are guaranteed. Somewhere in that area.
That's obscene.
Yeah, it was not a great decision.
But it ain't our problem.
No, it is not.
No.
But you have to give him credit. I don't know were there people laughing at Kirk Cousins, or were they laughing at the Falcons when they took Penix? But in hindsight, you kind of got to say now,
Yeah, the Penix
kind of makes sense.
I mean, and how about
it was ridiculous in the moment.
I've heard you and PA talk about it a ton. He was on his way
to like a fan
signing, and they drafted his replacement a month and a half in to his contract.
And you know how dorky Kirk is? Kirk was he was super excited about it, and he probably had on like his chains that the team gave him.
Yeah.
So he was excited to show up and maybe wear his sunglasses indoors, and he was going to sign, here I am. I'm here to win games. Drake London. You guys can't figure out Kyle Pitts. I'll figure out Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
He was so excited. And he just gets like a call on the way there. Or maybe he was listening. It's like 92.9 the game down there. He just finds out on his way there. Were you wondering about the next great lineman? Were you wondering about maybe the best possible defender in the draft? Could have been Dallas Turner.
Could have been Dallas Turner.
And Latu or whoever. No.
Roma Dunze, they could have added to that offense.
They took
Michael Penix, who might be really good.
And the money we're talking different planets, right? We're talking, Mercury versus Jupiter. It feels like the separation between, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 2 or 3 and 76 versus the 4 and $150 from Atlanta. But part of him kind of saying goodbye to Minnesota is the Vikings were honest with him. Hey, we love you. We want you back here. Here's our best price. Here's what we can do. But you do also need to know we do intend to draft a QB in late April.
Yeah.
In some ways, you kind of appreciate the decorum and the honesty there from KO and Kwesi, like telling Kirk, hey, we are going to draft your replacement. So we're going to re-up you, but we're going to have a new kid in town, and we're going to start him at some point in the near future. So you tell him the truth.
And he
goes
no.
down to Atlanta. He gets that fatter paycheck, so he's feeling good about things. Again, he's got the ice around his neck. Everything's
Kirko.
Everything's everything's good for Kirk.
Yeah.
Wife searching for houses. This is going to be terrific. This is the summer of Cousins. Can't wait.
And it's a month and a half, and they move on.
It was like 4 weeks.
They benched him.
Oh my
that
God.
was, I remember.
Oh.
I think the draft, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it was like the elbow or the arm thing, and he had to go.
I think the draft is like 45 or 46 days from today, right?
Something like that, yeah.
45 days after they signed him, they took his replacement as he was on his way to a draft party. How embarrassing. Unbelievable.
Oh, well, I think he's going to get over it. He's going to have to. He's been well compensated over the course of his career.
So,
but he still wants to play, and he still wants to start. So where's he? I mean, that now we're like, Kirk go to the Giants?
I mean,
we just kind of start plugging things in
like
here.
The Giants are also a team that if Tennessee says to themselves, like, listen.
Oh, wait a minute, Tennessee.
They're not taking Rodgers. Rodgers is too much of a headache to be in Tennessee.
Well, and he won't play for that team because they're not a contender.
They're hideous.
Yeah. I wonder if Rodgers. Here's what's on the table. Let's say because the Steelers are. You can tell me if I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, he's a gun for hire if he goes to the Steelers, and I think that's what he wants to be. That's what they thought he would be in New York.
Yeah. You're dead on with that. But I'm just trying to think in terms of a guy like Rodgers. You don't go to a team that is picking top 5, or in this case, Tennessee, for instance, the first overall pick.
You don't go to Cleveland. Yeah.
Well, so you're correct. Absolutely, you're right. The Niners haven't re-upped Purdy yet, have they?
Yeah.
I don't think they have. But to that end, I actually assume, given the caps, they had to trade Debo. They're tight on money right now.
Yeah, they might. They're
balling on a budget.
Who's the wide receiver they signed for big money? Then he got hurt.
Ayuk. Ayuk is on.
Dude,
fire.
I'm telling you right now, he's not heavy. He's his punter. Our punter is so good. I texted PA. I'm like, play that again. That's a great bit. But yeah, no, they are exactly what the Vikings wanted. They are what the Vikings want to be. Right? They have a quarterback who's cheap.
Yeah, young QB, and super expensive high-enders.
Have an all-star team.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's still got to throw the ball. He's fine. I just like arguing with Corey about it. He's fine, right?
Yeah, Purdy's fine.
But he's not top 5, right? He's not top 10.
No, I don't think he's top 5.
But he played with who he has.
Right.
Because they didn't pay him anything. That's where I think Vikings fans are a tad upset. Like, hey, what are we, the Polads? Like, what happened here? Like, spend the money. But I think they will. And like I said, if you're just tuning in, Will Freeze, the guard everybody wants, is not gone. Byron Murphy is still available.
Yep.
Jonathan Allen is still somewhere in town, we've heard. So those 3 would be excellent. Maybe I would love Javon Holland, the safety from Miami. I would love him on this squad. But if you know Harry's coming back, I still think you need a backup plan. I think you could use the depth.
I wonder how expensive he'll be.
I mean, I bet he's $15 a year.
Probably.
But you need secondary, right?
That's where again I go back to Byron Murphy. I think the numbers fall as the hours continue on. I mean that's only in some ways.
Well, and all those other guys are. I mean, Asante Samuel Jr. is another guy I'd love.
Yeah, I mean he's
little.
He might be allergic to tackling.
Yeah, but yeah. Well, it's allergic to effort, but so am I.
Who are we to judge?
Yeah, come on. I was winded plugging the microphone in.
You look tired out there, but you muscled your way through it.
No nap. I've been dadding all day.
No, I think
just kidding. My wife does.
As you see as you saw those names fall off the board, I think the dollars go down. So in Byron Murphy's case, is he still? Is agent still trying to work among maybe 2 or 3 teams? Is he focused in maybe on the Vikings, for instance, trying to hammer out fine details? Is there actually this super robust market for him at this stage of the day, now that we have seen a handful of nice cornerbacks go out the door? Same with Javon Holland. Javon Holland, pretty highly touted, had some good moments.
Where'd he go?
Kind of an awful, he was Oregon. And then maybe...
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the defensive tackle. Yeah, he was Oregon, second-round pick.
Second-round pick.
Scene Bear loved him, and nobody watches college football like Scene Bear. Scene Bear loves him.
But I think
Not
he
that
may have
matters
had...
to anybody,
but I think he's had like a really bad year
he's
and a
been
half.
banged up a lot, yeah.
So that's part of that conversation, which maybe leads to the delay.
But he played with Flores.
He did play with Flores.
Yes,
There's that connection there.
Yeah.
And he'd be... I'll take Javon Holland on this team. I am interested, that signing of Theo Jackson kind of was some foreshadowing, I believe, to Cam Bynum leaving. You got 1 year left with Metellus. Hitman's on the verge of retiring. The safety spot is kind of sneakily needy.
Yes.
In some respects. So, but Javon Holland is he 15 now and he's 12 by the end of the, how long does it take to sign some of these guys? I do believe that the numbers start to go down a bit as time passes because that's going to show you, again, how desperate teams are and how many different teams are clamoring for certain players.
I mean, the check's going to cash either way, but there is also something, as you just said, once it gets to day 2, and I know free agency hasn't even started, but it started weeks ago at the Combine, right? Once we get to day 2 of this, the leverage, as you were just saying, the leverage starts going to the team because a lot of these guys are getting picked up quickly, right?
Well, correct. Absolutely. I think our atopic focus should still be, I want Byron Murphy on this team, as we talked about. I want that to happen really badly. And I'm hoping because of these other names and time passing that maybe if it's 18, maybe it's 16 by the end of the conversation and the ink is on the paper. But the interior of this line and the interior of the D line, let's keep Jonathan Allen in Minnesota.
Yes.
And let's find our way to Will Freeze/Fries.
Yeah.
That's really just the interior of those and from a D-line standpoint, we still and I like Harrison Phillips. I don't love overall the interior of our line from a consistency in affecting the quarterback.
Yeah.
In pressures and overall disruption. Liked Phillips, liked our D-line with some hands up in the air this year, some good passes deflected at the line. That's a good thing. But that's also in some ways, that also is a product of a D-line that is getting their hands up in the air because they're not getting to the QB.
Correct.
Jonathan Allen, is he still in his absolute prime? It doesn't appear to be.
No,
and he missed a fair amount of 2024. But can this be a better option inside than we've had in years? I absolutely think so. So, and the better we get there, then that can mask maybe some deficiencies. And I'm excited to continue to dig into Isaiah Rodgers. It does, people that are talking about him still continue to kind of sell this story that you guys don't believe, like this is kind of an underrated good player.
Yeah.
That was picked up at a very, very nice number. So I'm kind of excited to learn more about Isaiah Rodgers. Byron Murphy, please come back.
Yes, correct.
I'm too proud to beg. We'd like to keep you on the team.
We got 2 segments left of this free agent frenzy. We will also tell you about a Pro Bowl offensive lineman that has been traded again.
Our iHeartRadio Music Awards are coming back Monday, March 17th on Fox.
Celebrating the music and artists you've loved on iHeartRadio over the past year and giving you an exclusive first look at the biggest new songs coming in the summer of 25.
Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish,
Glorilla, Gracie Abrams,
Kenny Chesney,
Money Long,
Nelly.
Your host, LL Cool J.
Watch live on Fox Monday, March 17th, starting at 7 p.m.
And listen on iHeartRadio stations across America and the free iHeart app.
Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Fine jewelry backed by the ultimate free lifetime warranty. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Attention all football fans. Old Spice Swagger Deodorant 4-pack is back at Costco. Get ready to unleash the greatest smell in the NFL. Old Spice Swagger is the ultimate 24/7 odor protection for all the football fanatics out there when used daily. But here's the catch, folks. This limited time offer won't last forever, so head to Costco and grab your 4-pack of Swagger Deodorant. Don't let those game-winning moments be overshadowed by unwanted odors. Get your Old Spice Swagger Deodorant now.
Want to
meet someone not online? At It's Just Lunch, we make great matches and even arrange the dates so you can make a real connection with a real person. It's Just Lunch. Connection awaits, guaranteed dates. Visit itsjustlunchtwincities.com or call 612-355-2727.
Relive the 90s with the Gin Blossoms. As one of the decade's top alternative rock groups, the band smashed records and defined a generation with anthems like Hey Jealousy, Till I Hear It From You, and Follow You Down. You can see them at Treasure Island Resort and Casino on Saturday, March 15th. Get your tickets at TICasino.com.
The game is on the line, and I've only got a shot clock's worth of time to tell you about Subway's $6.99 foot-long deal. That's right. Order now in the Subway app and get any foot-long on the menu for just $6.99. Fresh sliced deli meat, fresh crispy veggies. Too much good stuff. Get it now on the Subway app. Any foot-long for just $6.99. Use code 699FL now. Only here for a limited time. Redeemable at participating U.S. restaurants. Subway app. Online orders only. Add-ons additional plus tax. Additional fees apply on delivery. Excludes foot-long snacks. Limited time.
Join me, John Kriesel, for Oktoberfest with Defined Destinations, September 17th to the 25th. We'll soak up the festival vibe, raise a few steins, and take in views of the Alps in Salzburg and the Eagle's Nest. You just show up and have fun. Book now at defineddestinations.com.
Hey, it's Meatsauce here. Did you know saunas are all the rage right now? The best place to get a sauna is with my friends at saunasupplyco.com. John, one of the owners, came out to our house, gave us all the information we needed, and we will have one soon at our home, and I cannot wait. Sauna Supply Co. brings the heat to your home with the best saunas in the business. And right now, KFAN listeners can get $1,000 off any sauna purchase. That's $1,000 off any sauna purchase. Just go to saunasupplyco.com.
And free agents on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow 40s and free agents and start listening on the free iHeart Radio app today.
Hey, it's Corey Cove. Make KFAN and the podcast of the Power Trip Morning Show a preset on the new and improved iHeart Radio app. And thanks for listening to The Fan.
It is free agent frenzy. We thought it would be more of a Vikings free agent frenzy.
You know, with music like this, you'd like to be able to break news.
But we don't have any yet. All we do have is...
Oh. I'll pot it down now.
No, you can keep it playing. I love the music. The Vikings signed former four-time Pro Bowl center Ryan Kelly to a 2-year... $18 million deal.
Yep, 9 guaranteed.
9 guaranteed. Isaiah Rodgers, a corner, to a 2-year, $15 million deal that Nordo is quite high on and thinks he could be a stud in the slot.
Yeah, well, I'm high on the idea that we may have, again, just by reading, I haven't watched all the All-22, but this is a guy that was, he was out of the league in 2023, gambling on sports some way, somehow. Again, I made the joke earlier, was he just betting parlays on the company Wi-Fi? Well, that's kind of an L, but that's not a full year L, so I don't know exactly what he was doing. You know, Google's your friend in these cases, and I just haven't done that yet. But the bit with Rodgers, though, super underrated man corner that can play in Flores' defense, stands up despite some physical limitations. He's only 5'10", $170, $175, something like that, so he's not the biggest guy on the field. But he plays really well. Byron Murphy, the guy we've been talking about, Byron Murphy, not the biggest guy on the field. How does that impact things? Rodgers can play outside. Murphy can play outside. Murphy's played a little bit of the slot. But Rodgers might be a sneaky, high-value addition to this team. And that's kind of, when Kwesi a year ago, when we were looking at Andrew Van Ginkel, and I'm not saying that Rodgers automatically will have the cornerback version of a revelation season like Van Ginkel had for the Vikings this year on the outside, but the idea of when we brought Van Ginkel in, I think a lot of Vikings fans, including myself, we had been so fixated on Christian Wilkins, who got all that cash from the Raiders.
Yeah.
We're like, Van Ginkel, okay. Well, he looks like a guy who could play for the Vikings, given the hair and all of that. He's from Iowa, so I guess that's okay. But who's Van Ginkel? Well, reading into the fan forums and bits among Dolphins fans, as I was just trying to, who's Van Ginkel? They were more mad in South Beach, at least the fan bits that I was reading. They were more frustrated to lose Van Ginkel than they were Christian Wilkins. So he comes here. We get a couple of pick sixes. We get double-digit sacks. It's a hell of a season for Van Ginkel. And you got him on a primo price tag, right? The 2-year deal. And I think maybe we owe him 12 this year. He might be a potential, in terms of levers the team can pull to open up some more cap room and such. Extending Van Ginkel. Would you do that? I think he's 30. But off of the season that he had, he's into the final year of his deal. Would you consider maybe adding a year onto the back end of that, maybe 2? I mean, that's decisions Kwesi will have to make. My point is getting value, playing above your weight, playing above your contract. I think Grenard comes in and did what he should have done for the $4.76 that the Vikings gave him. So you got paid off there. I think Blake Cashman played above his contract for the most part. He misses those 2 games. That stinks, the Rams and the Kitties game in the season. But he was so fantastic for the most part this year. Blake Cashman was. And then Van Ginkel certainly played above it. So can Isaiah Rodgers play above what he's been given from the Vikings? And statistically, the way that he looked in 2024, that's just what I'm reading. It sounds kind of like Isaiah Rodgers could be a sneaky good pickup for Kwesi. Now, in terms of Ryan Kelly, I think we're all we're not shocked by it per se. Again, I thought they would play the string out on Bradbury's final year, but that instantly now creates friction. Before we have even added a starting guard.
Yeah.
We've actually added friction to a spot in which Garrett Bradbury, among the interior linemen, it was just kind of like, he'll probably play that last year. $6 million is not a ton of cash, and then we'll move on, right? Or we'll address it with something else, maybe to supplement it. I know, is it Juergens? And I forget what his first name is. Well, Cam Juergens is
the center for the Eagles.
Yeah. I think it's Michael Juergens here.
Okay.
No relation, by the way. But he was 6th or 7th round pick. I think they really like him.
Yeah.
But he might not be ready yet.
Yeah.
Hence the Ryan Kelly addition. But so I was kind of surprised by that. I am happy, though, that in general, because Garrett Bradbury, I don't know what they list him at, but it looks like he plays probably in that 285-ish area. He's about the same size as Jason Kelce.
Yeah.
Well, clearly there's a difference there.
Yeah, correct.
Because Jason Kelce likely Canton bound.
Yeah.
And Bradbury has had it's been good times, bad times with him. So Ryan Kelly, though, 6'4", 3 and change. He's a big guy in the middle.
Yeah, he's a huge human.
And he was a Pro Bowler. This wasn't just like 4th year of his career. He was a Pro Bowler 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And then this last year, he only played in 10 games. He did get hurt, so that's something to watch.
Yep.
But he's not 36 trying to hang on. He is still just 31.
Yeah.
So, the idea that he can come in and provide and stabilize that spot, that'd be terrific. But still, just really, hello?
Yeah.
Can we get is there a Will Fries in the house? Will Freeze.
Oh, yeah, or Jonathan Allen. I keep refreshing Twitter and I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. But yes, just kind of, that was kind of a word, that was a tangent, if you will. I'm excited to see more about Isaiah Rodgers. And there's in part, I feel like as a fan and a rube, I'm trying to will this thing because we need corner help.
Yeah.
And whether it's at safety, it's a sneaky, needy area. Now, without Cam Bynum, will Harry retire? And it's Metellus and Theo Jackson. The team can say that they love Theo, which I believe them that they do. And that's all we heard about last camp was that Theo Jackson was turning heads everywhere. And he was getting in sparingly 2 years ago. And then into camp, all he's doing is splashing. But it's Cam Bynum and Harrison Smith that he's vying for reps from. And then when the game started counting, he never got those reps.
No.
So Theo Jackson, 2-12, again, feels like the foreshadowing of Cam leaving. Is Theo ready to step in and play 17 games at a high level? I have trouble believing that in the moment as we are now. So whether it's safety help and then the cornerback spots, it's Mekhi Blackman and McGlothern. Those are our corners right now. So Griffin's gone, Gilmore's gone, and Murphy's potentially gone.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Isaiah Rodgers to be something. I'm rooting for Kwesi to have hit on something big here.
We need a bunch more moves. One of the big moves of the afternoon, Nordo, Laramie Tunsil, bong gas mask guy.
Yeah.
Was traded. This is another team like the Chicago Bears who is attacking their free agency and offseason because they have a rookie quarterback, and this team has one of the best in Jaden Daniels. The Washington Commanders traded a second round, a third round, and a fourth round pick for Laramie Tunsil and a fourth round pick to the Texans. Laramie Tunsil has been traded for some of the biggest trades for an offensive lineman ever.
Yeah, it was, he got 2 firsts. It was the
from
Texans
Miami
traded,
to the Texans, right?
Yeah, the Texans traded 2 firsts, a second, and then I think even multiple players.
That's obscene.
For Tunsil in 2019. And now you have to be honest in some ways. Good on the Texans. 6 years later, Saucy. 6 years later, getting a second, third, and fourth. Even I know they're over the next 2 drafts.
I mean, unbelievable.
Getting a second, third, and fourth at this stage of his career. After the season he had, didn't he have? I think he may have
I don't
had
think he was good. I think he had 1,000 penalties.
Well, he had 4 or 5 penalties in the Vikings game.
Yeah.
There was
false starts.
It was
right?
like second quarter maybe, and it was 2 false starts and like an illegal formation bit on one drive. He was a complete mess.
Unbelievable.
He may have led the league with like 18 or 19 individual penalties in that spot. So to get a second, third, and a fourth, you have to admire the Commanders. The Commanders are absolutely spending every free dollar they possibly can on making sure Jaden Daniels' sophomore campaign is even better than his rookie season. But my goodness, good on the Texans.
Yeah.
But and
good on the Commanders for going after it.
Has he received? I mean, I understand like Herschel Walker trade. I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to think. Let's say last 20 years or something like that. Has somebody in more than one deal garnered more?
I mean, I can't
draft
think of
equity?
somebody.
So I do know.
Russell went for a bunch.
And Deshaun did too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was just one though.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks. I don't have it in front of me. I'm pretty sure Brandon Cooks has like 1,000 yards for 5 different teams or something crazy.
He's played for a ton of teams.
And he's been traded for a first-round pick, I think, at least twice.
I think you are correct.
So
didn't the Rams trade for him?
Yes, he's been on the Rams. He was with the Patriots. He was with the Saints. I'm missing another one. I know he's on his 4th or 5th team.
I think you're correct.
But Cowboys. So that's at least 4 there.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Tunsil, but what's weird about that is names like Laramie Tunsil. And no offense to these guys. These guys have been in the league for a long time. Brandon Cooks. It's just odd to attach such high equity from a draft standpoint to those 2 guys.
It's unbelievable. It's a free agent frenzy. The Vikings have signed 2 free agents, Isaiah Rodgers and Ryan Kelly, a center and a cornerback.
Yeah.
Will they sign somebody in the next 15 minutes? We will tell you when that happens.
Let Express Employment Professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about recruiting, sifting through resumes, and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to expresspros.com to find the location near you. That's expresspros.com.
Hey, it's Guardsy. Can you...
Internet that's everything you imagine, and then some. Quantum Fiber, your world unleashed. Sign up today and get internet with a price for life. Keep your internet service monthly rate for as long as you keep your plan. Internet service monthly rate subject to continued plan availability.
651 Carpets Plus, we bring the showroom to you. Come on in. Here's how your free in-home estimate works. We bring you all the latest and greatest styles to complement your home. We use our state-of-the-art measuring system so we can give you the best price for your project on the spot. And we have thousands of products that you could have installed the next day. Call 651 Carpets Plus for your free in-home estimate.
Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Don't wait until spring to sell your house. I've seen so many people make that mistake. Then come March, they're competing against everyone else, and they wish they'd sold sooner. If you're ready to sell today, get your guaranteed cash offer at chrislindahl.com and start packing.
Certain restrictions apply.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Minneapolis Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
The game is on the line, and I've only got a shot clock's worth of time to tell you about Subway's $6.99 foot-long deal. That's right. Order now in the Subway app and get any footlong on the menu for just $6.99. Fresh sliced deli meat, fresh crispy veggies. Too much good stuff. Get it now on the Subway app. Any footlong for just $6.99. Use code 699FL now. Only here for a limited time. Redeemable at participating U.S. restaurants. Subway app. Online orders only. Add-ons, additional plus tax. Additional fees apply on delivery. Excludes footlong snacks. Limited time.
It's Chris Hockey here. You got no time to see builders and remodelers at the Home and Garden Show this year? To find great deals on home improvements? Well, no worries. They're going to come to you. Take advantage of great home show special savings on roofing, siding, doors, and windows. Like save up to $4,000 off any siding project, plus home show special savings of an additional $500 off. Awesome products and prices from the Twin Cities' premier home improvement company since 1952. Proud partner of our Minnesota Twins. BuildersandRemodelers.com. Nobody does it better.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out. Because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Febreze.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Hey, Rubes, it's Ben Lieber, and I talk all things football with my guy, PA, every Thursday morning at 11. Thanks to my friends at Maple Grove Lock and Safe. It's all season long on The Fan.
Welcome back. Final segment of Free Agent Frenzy. Nordo, your Minnesota Vikings.
Been a frenzy.
It has. Your Minnesota Vikings signed Ryan Kelly, center from the Colts.
Sweet.
2-year deal, $19 million or $18 million, $9 million guaranteed. They signed Isaiah Rodgers to a 2-year, $15 million deal. He is a slot corner who played for the Eagles, but they got a lot more spots. They need at least one more corner, and that includes even if they bring Byron Murphy Jr. back, correct?
Yeah, they need to. I mean, again, you need 2 guards at this spot. You add Isaiah Rodgers, but you lost several, so you're going to need at least another corner, I would say, if not 2. Now, you add Isaiah Rodgers. If you add Byron Murphy, we still don't know what that number would potentially look like. I mean, I feel there's an interesting thing here. The combination that we saw what he was kind of in the market for in that somewhere between 16, what DJ Reed got with the Lions, and then somewhere near what Carlton Davis got with the Patriots at 20 apiece. Is he somewhere in the middle there? So, but he's still available. So who's clamoring for his services right now? I mean, that's where the longer this drags out, I almost think, as we were talking earlier, that the leverage kind of transitions to the team. So if we can get Byron Murphy and then another guy maybe during the second wave next few days, I would be happy with that. But then that still doesn't take corner off the table, I don't think, in terms of adding additional bodies via the draft, college free agency. I mean, this team the last couple of years, Gabriel Murphy, they're trying to make that work as an undrafted free agent. Ivan Pace would be very notable in the near times, given the fact that he starts for this team, and they found him as an undrafted cat. Undersized, Cincinnati, All-American, the whole bit. It feels like this undrafted class, is it going to be like 20 guys? Are they going to? I mean, we have 3 or 4 draft picks. We're still kind of trying to figure out.
They got a lot of money left.
Will we get that comp pick regarding how things turned out last year? So I don't know, man. But you need 2 more corners, and probably quickly. And we know who one of those names is, or we're hoping that it should be, in Byron Murphy Jr. But I'm still, again, It's got to be freeze/fries, and then could it be that Brandon Sheriff and you remember when he played for Washington?
Yeah,
how excited! I mean, one of the best guards in the NFL. We were also, similarly from Washington. This is a team that has flubbed a fair number of things prior to this new regime. Maybe they're different, but they had Trent Williams there too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We were sweating that. I forget which year that was, but leading up to the draft, we were absolutely on the sweat. It almost sounded like it was to be.
Yeah,
that the Vikings were going to make that move for Trent Williams. He ends up going to the Niners. But Brandon Sheriff is not the guy that we were once fawning over when he was with Washington. But is he a guy? Kevin Zeitler, is he a former Raven and a Bengal? But Zeitler now most recently with Detroit.
Yeah, I think you're right on
he's
all
potentially,
those.
He's potentially up for grabs as well. So 2 guards, 2 corners, maybe a fat guy in the middle on defense.
I mean, I would keep an eye on Jonathan Allen. I think that gets done at some point, either tomorrow morning or sometime later tonight. I think they also need another wide receiver 3, and I think that's Cooper Kupp.
You do?
I just do. I think Cooper Kupp would come here to play with KOC. And I think they would kind of find some kind of magic. He knows the offense. He wouldn't have to, I think they can find that. And then they got to find themselves another safety. I'd love Javon Holland, right? I think you can draft one. Malik Starks is one that's out of Georgia.
Malachi,
excuse me, yeah. But that'd be tough, right? If they just drafted another safety from Georgia. That'd be a tough sell for a while until the kid played, right?
I think so. Yeah, if he's not ready to play.
Right, he's got to play right away.
And are people a little, gun shy on Georgia safeties post Lewis Cine?
Correct.
I'm curious, what if you drafted him at 24 and he did not play. I mean, the team can't operate based on we're not going to start this guy right away because he's not ready, and the fans start complaining. Well, I guess we better play him then. I mean, they can't do that.
No,
but that would be highly disappointing given the amount of bodies that they have to replace, and for us to use. I mean, in the same, you have to say it. We love the 14 wins.
Yeah.
We love Flores in this defense. But as a Vikings fan, when you see what the team gave up to move up to 17 and take Dallas Turner, and I think he played 300 or so snaps this year.
Yeah.
And he had, again, some moments.
Some great moments.
But very much looked like a kid that maybe was playing a little out in front of his skis at times.
Was thinking and not just playing.
There's some disappointment there. When you play, I mean, and we've seen quarterbacks in the first round that take time to develop and all those things, but if you're going blue chip, especially, he was the second or third defensive player off the board.
Second, yeah.
After Latu was the first maybe 15 to the Colts, so just a couple of picks prior. You took the second available defensive player, and he was only able to muster 300 snaps his rookie season.
Jared Verse went a few picks earlier or later.
Yeah, 19 or 20 to the Rams.
Yeah.
And now, albeit, Jared Verse is also, I think he's like 3 full years older.
I think he's 25, yeah.
So this is it's kind of like, let's look at like Dillingham with the Wolves at 19 years old versus Terrence Shannon Jr., who's like 23, because he played all those years with Illinois. Terrence Shannon Jr. actually looks more prepared and looks the part, even though Dillingham may have a better ceiling. So you're hoping that Dallas Turner, that it's simply an age and it's a maturity thing. I kind of liken it like Daniil Hunter, nondescript third rounder out of LSU. Was kind of almost, he's never really been wiry.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you remember this. I remember training camp like it was yesterday, 2016. The first time I saw Daniil Hunter, looked like he had gained 50 pounds in the offseason.
Oh, yeah.
And he had suddenly overnight, like he drank some elixir, and now he's this cutout of stone Adonis.
They called him create player. That's how
it was insane.
Insane.
One of the most unbelievable physical specimens of humanity that you've ever seen in person. So does Dallas, maybe that's not this manifestation of Dallas Turner, but does he make that second year jump? You'd hope that he does.
Yeah.
But you need 2 corners, you need 2 guards. I need that fat guy in the middle. If it feels to me like it's going to be Jonathan Allen, I think we're on the same page there.
I think it will be, yeah.
So safety, we're looking at that. So they're not even close to done. So what was a frenzy, or we were hoping was a frenzy tonight.
Might be a frenzy tomorrow.
We were going to get the recap bits. Might be frenzy on it. Might be a Tuesday frenzy.
We got a few minutes. Let me run this name by and let me know what you think. What if the backup quarterback is Gardner Minshew?
So I'm going to say this. It's not that I don't. I care all. Like if it was Brett Rippon, I would kind of care. Like really that
you don't really care who the backup is what you're saying.
I'm not that. It doesn't matter.
But I think though it does, because in the world of the NFL, your season can just it won't. But let's say the season started on Sunday, and JJ started, and our backup's Rippon. I don't know anything about. I've watched McCarthy play a ton in college. I've watched it. I mean, Thor Nystrom tweets highlights of him every 15 minutes, which I absolutely love. But, well,
but
if Brett Rippon is the backup and he has to play, they don't win a game.
Yeah. So my point is that I care who the backup is in the context of if something goes wrong with JJ.
All right.
Let's be game in the mix. Here's where my head's at, though, is that whether if J.J. McCarthy becomes injury laden, if J.J. McCarthy becomes mediocre, what if J.J. McCarthy just isn't very good?
Yeah.
That's what I care about.
That's a good point.
Now salvaging seasons and things like that, certainly that absolutely matters. Again, I'm not diminishing a position on the field. Other teams are not. Zach Wilson getting $10 million to back up Tua.
Obscene.
Now that's a difference because Tua actually is, sadly, with these head issues. You hope he doesn't have any more.
But that's
of those.
a lot of money for a bust.
So with that said, though, it's J.J. McCarthy's season.
Yeah.
So that's what I care about.
That's
I care about him being good. If he's not good or if he's hurt again, and we're talking about a backup, yes, salvaging a season matters. But my focus, my A topic there would be not potentially not hitting.
Yeah.
On the highest drafted QB we've had in this town in a very long time. So that would be my focal point. But if that's Minshew, if it's Wentz, if it's somebody.
Yeah, you don't care.
Nah, it's not a big deal to me.
You will be a Ryan Kelly and Isaiah Rodgers expert by tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
5:30 to 9, PA and Nordo tomorrow, 9 to noon. Bye.
651 Carpets Plus. We bring the showroom to you. Come on in. Here's how your free in-home estimate works. We bring you all the latest and greatest styles to complement your home. We use our state-of-the-art measuring system so we can give you the best price for your project on the spot. And we have thousands of products that you could have installed the next day. Call 651 Carpets Plus for your free in-home estimate.